So I just transitioned to the engineering portion of audio within the last year or so. And I was working in radio for a few years before that, but I wanted to transition to like a more hands-on, like creative career. Well, I've wanted to start for years now, but the accessibility of actually getting studio time is impossible, especially I am originally from out of state in Michigan, and there just wasn't a lot of opportunities out there. But after coming down here to Florida, I was able to um, get this awesome opportunity to not only get studio time, but a really great teacher to help me understand the studio. A reason why I picked you guys was because it was a really welcoming environment. You guys had like some really cool technology. The vibe here was just really great overall. I knew absolutely nothing about analog gear before I came here because a lot of schools don't really let you touch their really expensive equipment, which understandable, but it was really nice to actually be able to understand like the LA2A compressor over here, the preamp that he has. He showed me an entire diagram of like all the other different types of compressors and what they do, which is really helpful, and I had no understanding of that before. I was able to learn a lot more on Pro Tools. I was able to navigate Pro Tools a lot faster than before. I had a better understanding of what all the DAW did, and we even touched on FL Studio, which I had not used previously for making beats, but it was really cool to understand the whole concept of how much easier it is to make beats on FL. The thing that you guys did differently was because it was more hands-on, I was more so just kind of thrown into it, which was a little nerve-wracking at first, but I got a hang of it within a few minutes and overall felt really comfortable with it, and within a few hours I felt like I really understood like how to use Pro Tools specifically. So the results I saw from this program was that I learned a lot more hands-on than I did in previous educational backgrounds that I was in. I learned a lot more about analog gear, which I didn't really have access to in other programs, which is awesome. We learned about compressors, preamps, microphones, and a bunch of other stuff. Overall, I really enjoyed the creative aspect of being in here. A lot of schools focus on like the very mechanical theory part, which can be helpful at some point, but when you come down to it, like, music is about being creative, and I liked working in a creative environment overall. Towards the end of this course, I felt a lot more confident in my skills. I felt a lot more confident in my knowledge on how to handle myself in a studio properly. It really was an overall great experience, and I feel a lot more confident in myself in a studio overall. Alright, so why I would recommend you guys is overall, compared to a lot of other programs, it's way less expensive, again, way more hands-on, a lot more fast-paced, so I'm actually learning instead of just learning a bunch of theory stuff. Actually understanding like what's gonna happen in the real world is really helpful.